In this video, we're going to look at an introduction to arithmetic sequences or series. So sequence is just a collection of numbers, a list of numbers, and a series is a sum of those numbers. And so we hinge back throughout this section to this general formula here, Tn equals a plus n minus 1d, or d in brackets n minus 1. And a is your first term, d is the difference. Be careful, difference. If it's going down by 3, your d would be minus 3. That's a common mistake my students can make. And n is the number of terms. A cool party trick. So I'm going to anchor back to this to ensure I always get it right. So a is the first term, so here's 3. The difference is positive 4 each time, and n minus 1. So when I times this in, it's 4n minus 4. Add it together and I get 4n minus 1. So that's the general term, the nth term, the formula. And a quick party trick, if you see with the arithmetic sequence it's going up by 4, then you can write 4 and always put n, and you say how much does it take to get back to the first term. So it's 1 less, and there would be your formula. I'll just show you another one. So 2, 6, 10, 14. So if this was the case, you'd say, okay, it's going up by 4. How much does it take from that number 4 to get back to 2? It's minusing 2. And just like that, you'd have the formula. So that's just a quick trick if you ever want to double check what you got to see if it's correct. Then if they ask you for a specific term, like the 8th term, then it would just be subbing in 8 into n and getting your answer. Another brilliant habit is, because it will be helpful for other questions as well, if I ask you the 8th term in arithmetic, get used to just saying a plus 7d, because it's always n minus 1. If I ask you for the 15th term, get in the habit of just saying a plus 14d, because it's always 1 less. We'll come back to this in another video, but that's just a great habit to come back to. Then the last thing for this video is if they say which term. So if you see which term, or maybe you've got a sequence of numbers and it goes all the way up to 159 like that, and they say how many terms are there, then this last term you sub in for Tn. Which term equals 159, you sub into this formula here for Tn, and then it becomes a nice easy grade 8 equation. You can take everything across and solve for n. And so that's an introduction to how to do arithmetic sequences and series. There's the normal formula, which you've got here at the top, and then the slightly different one, a plus the last term. And so if you like this example here, if you were asked what's the sum of this sequence, then you could just put your first term is 3, and then for last term you would put the 159, and number of terms you would have had to work out like I did down here by putting it in for Tn to work out the number of terms. So your n would have been 40, and you could get your answer quite quickly. So we normally, most of the time, going to be using this formula, but sometimes if we've got the last term, then this one is great just to save a bit of time. I hope that video was helpful for you, just to give you a nice intro into arithmetic sequences and series. If it was, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this with your friends. Thanks.